and this is Eyeshadow Beauty. As you can see, all of my palette shelves are empty because we have finally come to the very last video in my declutter series. We are finally going to be decluttering eyeshadow palettes. I have 85 palettes in my collection. That does not include the ones from Jeffree Star, which I'm not going to include in this video. I may show them at another time if you guys want to see them. I'm no longer purchasing from Jeffree. I'm no longer promoting his products. There are some palettes in there that I may be getting rid of, but I don't know yet, so I don't want to include them in here. But I do want to mention that I do have them. As far as filming this video, we're going to be doing the tabletop perspective, the way that I did the lip gloss declutter, the lip product declutter. I think that actually worked very well, and I think it'll work well for this one too. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Colourpop palettes, and then we'll go from there. Like I said in the intro, we're going to start with the Colourpop palettes. I have 19. The first ones I'm going to start off with are the 15 pan palettes. Those are these. I have 4. The first one is Gather Round Sisters. This was from the Hocus Pocus collaboration. This was the Halloween collection. I love the packaging. You have the cauldron on the front. You have the Sanderson sisters on the inside cover. And while this color story is not like 100% unique or anything, in fact, I think it's pretty similar to the Wild Nothings, which is what people were saying. I still think the shades are beautiful. I love this green shade right here. I think it is a pretty color story, and it is Hocus Pocus, so I would definitely be keeping this one. I'm also going to keep this one. This is from the Disney Designer Collection. This one is called A Princess Thing. This one is the Disney Princess collaboration. This was the first one. The second one was the Midnight Masquerade, which I still have not got yet. Eventually I do want to get that one, but this is just a beautiful soft color story. I love all the shades in here. This is just really pretty for just really everyday soft looks. I love the fact that you have the signatures of the princesses on the inside of the cover. This one is the Disney Villains Misunderstood. This is part of the same collection as the Disney Designer Collection. This one just happened to be the villains. This is also 15 pan. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I love this purple shade. The purple shade is called Forest of Thorns, and then you have Facilier, which is this green one. Both of these shades are just really beautiful, especially Dr. Facilier, which is the green one. I would definitely be keeping this one. I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to be decluttering. Most of the ones from Colourpop I'm going to be keeping, but there are a couple that will go out. This one is the Disney Mulan palette. This is obviously from the Disney collaboration. This color story, I love the packaging first of all. Absolutely gorgeous. There's the phoenix right there. There's Mulan on the inside cover. And then this is the color story. First of all, I feel like this color story was just kind of meh and wasn't fully representative of Mulan. This gold shade right here, which is called Be Swift. It's a pressed glitter, and it's just such a mess. You have to use a glitter adhesive to get that to stay, otherwise it will just fall over your face. I felt like the formula in this palette just wasn't very good either. The shades did not blend very well. They were not as pigmented as other neutrals and other palettes, and a lot of these neutrals like over here I've seen in other palettes. I just felt like they did not do this color story justice. I wish there was a bright jade green and a rich deep purple in here, because that's definitely missing, but because it is Mulan and I love Disney and I love Mulan, I will be keeping it for that reason. Next, we're going to be doing the 12 pan palette. I also have 4 of these. This one is the Yes Please palette. This one I am going to be decluttering. This one was the very first Colourpop palette that I ever got when I first started out my makeup journey. The color story is pretty. It is okay. I just never pull from this. I have other palettes with shades like this that I just enjoy more. The formula in this one just was not my favorite. And this shade right here, which is called Louis. From the second I got the palette, this shade right here was hard pan. I could not get it to swatch. I couldn't get it anything out of the pan. I tried a dry brush, a wet brush, my finger. I could not get this shade to work. Let me know, guys, if any of you had the same problem, or maybe I just got a bad palette. I don't know, but either way, this one is going to be decluttered. This one is the Sweet Talk palette. This is really pretty. I love the spring tones on the cover. The inside color story is really beautiful for really peachy, pinky spring tone looks that you want to do. Dreammaker and Meadow. I do not like either one of those. Those are pressed glitters, and I do not like pressed glitters, but other than that, it's just a really beautiful color story, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. This one is at Foresight. This is fairly new to my collection. This was the Raw Beauty Christie collaboration. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I love every single shade in this palette, especially this green shade right here, which is called Amanita, I think is how you say that, but it is just this really beautiful silky smooth shimmer. It's just a gorgeous sagey green. It is so beautiful. This is one of my favorite shades in this palette. I am definitely keeping this one. I'm sorry if things are a little bit chaotic in this video. This is my first time doing it in this particular type of setup, so it's kind of new. I'm trying something out. Hopefully it is working out. This one is the Sailor Moon Pretty Guardian palette. As you can see, it has a pretty little shift on the cover. I absolutely love Sailor Moon, so I was very excited about this collection. This color story is so beautiful. As far as Colourpop color stories, this one is one of the more unique shades. These three on the bottom right here are kind of that satin glitter finish. I usually don't like those, but these in here are just so beautiful. This shade right here, which is called Luna, this is my absolute beautiful shimmer in this entire palette. It's one of my most favorite purpley shimmers in my entire collection. If you can see that shift, oh my god, it is so gorgeous. I will definitely be hanging on to this palette. These are the monochromatic palettes. There are 5 of these. The only one that I know I'm going to be decluttering is Meant to Be. It's a really beautiful minty green type of palette. The only problem with this one is that this one is very, very monochromatic. When I say very monochromatic, I mean, you look and you think there's a little bit of depth. You would think this shade down here, which is called Ice Cold, would be like a really deep, rich, greenish gray kind of shade, but it is not. When you actually put this on your eyelids, all the shades kind of pull very similar to each other, and there's not much depth at all. So this one I will be pulling. This is Blue Moon. This is the only blue toned palette that I have other than the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. But as you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous. Every shade in here is just beautiful. I love pulling this out for blue toned looks. Definitely going to keep this one. This one is just my luck. This one is a really deep, warm green toned monochromatic. I love the shade right here, which is called Act Natural. It's a really beautiful olive green matte, and it is just so smooth, so pigmented. You can do beautiful smoky looks that have a bit of a green undertone with it. Beautiful palette. Definitely keeping that one. This one is the Baby Got Peach, which is obviously the peach tone palette. Also keeping this one too. Some of the shades in here are similar to the one in the Sweet Talk palette, like this one in the middle, which is called Centerfold. But as a whole, this is just a really beautiful peachy palette when you want to do some everyday peachy looks. I love that one. The last one is Or and Out. This was part of the tie-dye collection. There were actually 3 palettes, but this is the only one in the collection that just really spoke to me. I love the green tones in here. These 2 shimmers right here are absolutely gorgeous. Definitely hanging on to that one. All the rest of these I'm keeping, so I'm just going to show them to you real quick. This one is Coast to Coral. This is the Coral palette. As you can see, there are also some shades in here that were similar to the Sweet Talk, but these are more peachy and coral in tone than the other ones. This one is Blush Crush, a very pretty all over pinky blushy color story. I love this Super Shock shade, and the top is called Pop a Bottle. It is absolutely stunning. And then the last one here is Nude Mood. This one is similar to Blush Crush. They were kind of in the same series. This one is more of a nude toned, really beautiful warm nudes in here. Absolutely love this one. The Super Shock in here though, I don't like as much as the Blush Crush. It's like it's not as creamy and smooth, but overall beautiful palette. These 3 are all new to my collection. This is the Star Wars Mandalorian The Child palette. Definitely keeping this one. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. You guys know me. I love Star Wars. Even if I didn't, this color story is just so beautiful. I love these greens. This beautiful olivey brown color down here is absolutely gorgeous. Everything about this palette is stunning. These 2 are the newest ones to my collection. I actually got these as a vault. This is the Little Ray of Sunshine, which is kind of a sunflowery yellow color story. This one I have not played with yet. I'm looking forward to pulling that one out. And then this one is Big Poppy. I actually did a look with this one. It's actually the look that I'm wearing now. That video will have gone up before this one. Beautiful all matte orange tone palette. The Little Ray of Sunshine is also all matte. I loved playing with this one. I'm definitely keeping this one. Let's move on to Juvia's Place. I have 7 here. First, let's do the Wahala palettes. You have Wahala 1 and you have Wahala 2. These are the big palettes that they just launched not too long ago. This is the color story for the Wahala 1. I absolutely love this. I think this is so beautiful. The only shade in here that I have trouble with is Yang. I tried swatching this one and it actually got stuck to my finger. None of the color would come off. You have to use a glitter adhesive to get anything out of this pan. If you try to put it on with your finger, it will stick, but it is a beautiful color story. Keeping that one. I'm probably going to be keeping all of my Juvia's Place palettes. We shall see. This one is the Walhalla too. I actually like the color story in this one a little bit more than the Walhalla one, but they are beautiful companions. Absolutely gorgeous. Hanging on to that one. Both of these have 30 shades, by the way. These are the 9-pan larger palettes. This one is the Nomad. This one is so beautiful. It's very grungy, very earthy. I love everything about this one. This one is the Zulu. This one I think was the first palette I ever picked up from Juvia's Place. It is a gorgeous rainbow palette here. The shimmers in here are so gorgeous. The only shades in this one that I have a problem with is the purple. It's the same way in the Warrior. For some reason, I don't know what it was about these first palettes, but the purples were just so difficult to work with. They did not blend well. They were patchy, but overall it's beautiful palettes. I'm going to keep that one. This one is the Warrior 3. This one is actually a really pretty companion palette to the Zulu, in my opinion. It's another beautiful rainbow palette. All the shades in here are pretty pigmented. The purple, though, I had the same issue as I did with the Zulu, being a little bit patchy and hard to work with, but overall, beautiful palette. This one is the Sweet Pinks. This is one of their newer palettes. This one has 6 pans. It's a really beautiful pinky tone. The only thing about it that I don't like is it only has 2 mattes. I wish it had more, but overall, it is a beautiful palette, so I'm going to keep that one. And then this last one is the Nubian Coral. This one is actually very reminiscent to me of the Sweet Talk palette from Colourpop, especially the really peachy shades here. One thing I love about this palette is this row right here. You can do some really beautiful smoky gray tones with this palette. Absolutely beautiful. I have some random palettes here that I only have one brand of, so I thought we'd go ahead and get some of these out of the way. This palette is from Wikilux. This one I'm definitely going to be decluttering. This one I ordered because of a Facebook ad. Yeah, those Facebook ads got me. In the ad, in the pictures, this one looked like a really deep orange coral shade, but as you can see, it is not. It's more pink. None of these have any real pigment to them. Just was not my favorite formula. I'm definitely going to be decluttering that one. This one is the Gay Bestie. You guys have heard me talk about this one a lot. This is from JC Camarello. He is a small beauty blogger. He ships these from his house. It has a little saying in it when you open it. I'm not going to play that. I've actually done a full dedicated video to that one. I will link it up here somewhere in case you want to hear that message, but this is what the packaging looks like. There's a cute little mirror and there's JC. Basically, it's like he's holding up the mirror to tell you how fabulous you are. But this color story is absolutely gorgeous, and the formulas in here are beautiful. They're smooth, buttery, creamy. They blend beautifully. This shade right here is one of my absolute favorite golds in my entire collection. This one is called Come Through. I used this one in a red and gold look that I did. Absolutely gorgeous. Definitely hanging on to this one. This one is the Spanglish palette. This one came out of a BoxyCharm box. I was actually very excited to get this one. This was, I think, one of 3 different palettes that they had that you could have gotten, and I was so happy to get this one. I just love this color story. This one is the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palettes. This is one of my absolute favorite palettes of the year. You shake it up, there's like little sprinkles in there. It has a huge mirror in it. If you don't already have a mirror, you can set this up on your table and you can see your entire face in it. This color story and these formulas are amazing. This is my first time ever using a Glam Light formula. Their formula is just so smooth and buttery, and their shimmers and metallics are so unique. They are so creamy. They blend like a dream. This one right here, which is called Lemon. Oh my God. Look, it's like liquid gold. It is so breathtaking. Definitely hanging on to this palette. This one is the James Charles Morphe palette. This one is the mini. It took me a while to get this one. I'd heard a lot of mixed reviews regarding the formula in this palette, but I finally got it on sale at Ulta. It was 50% off, so I paid like $13 for it. It was worth getting. It would have been worth it for full price. I absolutely love the formulas. They're very smooth. They blend very well. All the shades in here, I mean, the color story, everything. He actually curated this palette very nicely. I was very impressed. The only thing I don't like about the palette is that the shade names are on this sleeve instead of in the palette. I wish they were in the palette, but other than that, I absolutely love this one. This one is the NYX Cosmetics Netflix Sabrina collaboration palette. I love Sabrina. I'm kind of sad because this is the last season that we're going into right now. The inside cover looks like the page of a spell book, and this is the color story. This one actually has a highlighter and 2 blushes in it. I absolutely love this one. This one I think was my first time ever using a NYX eyeshadow formula, and I loved everything about it. It is so gorgeous. I love the shade right here, which is called Frog Legs. It's just really beautiful pigmented green. absolutely gorgeous. But even if the formula in here sucked, I would still be keeping it just because it is Sabrina and I love Sabrina. This one is the little Hershey's collaboration with Etude House. It's a K-beauty brand. I have actually been wanting to try this one. It came in a No Make Life. I haven't actually had a chance to play with it yet, but it is absolutely beautiful. These rich chocolate browns. The only thing about this one, it was a missed opportunity. It doesn't smell like chocolate. That would have been perfect if it had actually smelled like chocolate. This is my first ever Natasha Denona palette. This one is called Peak. This one actually came in a boxy charm. I really do like it. I love this little shimmer here. I love this burnt orange shade here. It's a beautiful formula, but I will have to admit, if this formula is the same one that's in the other Natasha Denona palettes, while I did love it, it still didn't make me want to run out and spend $65 or $129 on a full-size palette. These two I'm going to be decluttering. These are from Too Faced. This is the Chocolate Gold palette. I bought these two when I first started my makeup journey, which is about a year and a half ago when I really started getting into makeup. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had just seen a lot of YouTubers talking about this, so I thought, what the heck, I'll go ahead and grab them. I did not realize when I bought this that it's an all shimmer palette. There are 4 mattes in this palette. This one, this one, this one, and this one. All the rest of them are like shimmers or metallics. I just don't ever pull this. I think I pulled this out maybe once since I got it. You know, so there's no real reason for me to keep it. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. This one I'm also going to pull out, which is a Sweet Peach. The formula is pretty, but once again, I never pull it. This shade up here, which is called Bless His Heart, the little greenish one, that is like hard pan. I tried to use that a couple of days ago and I could not get anything out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter both of these. These two are my Urban Decay palettes. I need to get some more, but so far I only have these two. This one is the Naked Cherry. My husband actually got this one for me. We were in Ulta and he saw this one on sale and got so excited and showed it to me. He absolutely loved the color. So I gotta be so, I'm proud of him. He's very supportive of my channel. He actually gets excited when he sees makeup on sale because he knows how much I love makeup. But he picked this one out for me and I absolutely love it. The whole color show is absolutely beautiful. It's really pretty shimmer right here. It's very pigmented. It blends like butter. It was a gift, definitely hanging on to that one. And this one is the Born to Run. This is the OG palette. This one I picked up when I did a comparison between a dupe palette and this one. I absolutely love this color story. I mean, you can do a multiple array of looks with this palette. It is just so beautiful. These two are from Essence. I'm going to be decluttering both of these. This one is the Never Give Up Your Daydream eyeshadow palette. This one is an all like pastel-y shimmer. These just don't blend very well. They're not very buttery. They're not very pigmented. There's not much shine to them. They're actually very chalky. This one is called the Fire eyeshadow palette. There were 4 of these, and I guess they're based after the elements. The color story is pretty. This is usually the kind of tones that I go for, but these are just not very pigmented and they don't blend very well, and I never pull this palette, so it is going to come out. This one is from The Balm. It is the Alternative Face Palette Volume 1. This one is an eyeshadow and face palette. I first of all love this one because it looks like an album. This was from a trying products from The Balm for the first time. As you can see, the mirror on the inside looks like it, like a CD or an LP. I absolutely love that. This entire color story, every formula in this palette is absolutely amazing. You have a highlighter, a blush, and I guess, I don't know if this is a contour, bronzer. It's a bronzer. All 3 of these are beautiful. I don't really bronze, but this one in here is actually a really nice one. All of the shadows are absolutely gorgeous. These 3 are from Beauty Creations. All 3 of these are going to come out. These 2 were from Boxy Charms. This one was a Secret Santa gift from last year. It's a pretty color story. And little pinks in there, pretty little neutrals, but I just never pull this out, and there's no reason for me to have it taking up space knowing I'm not going to use it. This one is the Cali Chic palette. It's a really pretty color story, but I don't ever pull from this one. I don't think the formula is okay. It's not the best, but like I said, I never use it. This one is Esmeralda. This one has some really pretty greens and some grungy tones in here. I played with this a few times and I just didn't like the formula. I just did not think it blended very well. All of these came from Hot Topic. I am going to be keeping all of these. This one is the Warrior Reflection palette. This is the Disney Mulan palette. I absolutely love this one. Unlike the one from Colourpop, this one actually has a really beautiful formula. This shade right here, which is called Mushu, this is one of my absolute beautiful shimmers in my entire collection. It is so smooth and creamy and buttery. You see that? Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. This one is the Supernatural, the Eternal War palette. I absolutely love Supernatural. They just had their final season. But this is also a really beautiful formula. Maybe hard to see. I have the plastic still over it. I have not taken that off yet. But you have a more warm tone, darker side, and you have a more cool tone, pastel side. The formula in this palette is absolutely gorgeous. This one is the Oogie Boogie palette from Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not the best formula in the world, but it is pretty. This orange shade right here, which is called Lock, that's my favorite one in the palette. I got this one mainly for the packaging. This is a really pretty display piece during the Halloween season. Same thing for this one, which is the Love is Eternal palette. I love this packaging. As you can see, it's kind of 3D. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the formula in here, this one kind of sucks. There was no pigment. It did not blend well. I had a hard time working with this one. I did do a dedicated video for it, but this one I'm keeping for that cover. It'll be a beautiful display piece. This one is the Moana Hard to Defeat palette. I got this obviously because it's Moana. Moana is my absolute favorite Disney princess. Moana comes in second. I love the artwork on this. There is no weight to this palette. This palette is so cheap. The color story, oh my god. There is no pigment to any of these. It's very chalky. It's very powdery. They did my girl Moana wrong. The only reason why I'm keeping this and hanging on to it is because of the artwork, and I like to display it. We are about halfway through this declutter. We are pushing through. These three are from Milani. These two are from the Salt and Pepper Milani collaboration. Both of these are actually really nice. Yes, salt and pepper on the cover. What I really love is how the palette is designed to look like a CD. The color story is really nice. I do like the formula, and of course I love Salt and Pepper, which is why I got that one. This is the Hot, Cool, and Vicious palette, and this one is the Very Necessary. This one is actually my favorite of the two. It has some really beautiful shimmery metallics in here. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is the Beautiful Nightmare palette. This one to me is what that Jack and Sally palette from Hot Topic should have been. The color story is really beautiful. The formula is really beautiful. I enjoyed working with this one. I'm definitely going to be hanging on to that one too. These two are from e.l.f. I'm very picky when it comes from e.l.f. because their formulas can be hit or miss. This one is the Jakissa to the Rescue palette. This one I absolutely love. It is a gorgeous rainbow palette. This one was a collaboration with Jakissa. I love this one. I love the color story. I love all the shimmers. It's just absolutely beautiful. This one I'm going to be decluttering. This one is the Retro Paradise. I tried a second time to use this palette in a video to just try to give it another chance, and I don't like it. I feel like these shades are just patchy. They don't blend very well. They're just, this one right here, which is called Baha Mar, I think. This is one of the reasons why I wanted this palette. Beautiful green minty shade. Did not blend well. Very chalky, very powdery. This whole palette was a disappointment. Definitely pulling that one out. These two are my Sugar Pill palettes. This one is the little fun size mini palette. This one is absolutely gorgeous. This one is a little mini pastel color story. Definitely hanging on to this one. I absolutely love this one. Love this one as well. This one was from the Capsule collection. This was volume 2, which was the orange one. Absolutely love everything about this palette. My favorite shade in the palette is this one, which is called Moonshine. It is this really beautiful, silky smooth multi-chrome shade. It's just so beautiful. Oh my god, the shift in that one is magnificent. This one right here, Retrograde, this one is actually a blush. It's a really pretty peachy blush. Absolutely gorgeous. These are my Makeup Revolution palettes. This one is called the Flawless 4. This one I actually picked up from TJ Maxx for a full face of TJ Maxx makeup. It's a pretty color story. There's some really beautiful peachy neutral tones in here, but I don't ever pull this. Like I said, I specifically got this one for a video, and I know that I'm never going to use it again, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. These two I am keeping. This was from the Makeup Revolution Nightmare Before Christmas collaboration. The packaging I absolutely love. Sally Skellington here, absolutely gorgeous. Now, as far as the color story, I'm not a huge fan of the color story. First of all, I don't know why there are 50,000 shades in each one of these palettes. The color story is, yeah, it's ho-hum. The formulas are ho-hum. It's not one of my favorite formulas of color stories ever, but it is Jack. I love this as a display piece for Halloween, so I'm definitely going to keep that one. The same thing with the Sally palette. Very uninspiring color story, but once again, I love the packaging. Beautiful display piece. This is the Mally RuPaul RuPaulette Collaboration Collection. This one was exclusive to QVC. I've never used Mally before. Her products are pretty much on QVC. The only reason I got this was because it was a RuPaul collaboration. I thought if anybody can make amazing makeup, It's going to be RuPaul. Yeah, disappointment. This color story sucks. It's so uninspiring. The formulas do not blend well. They're very patchy. I do not like this. I don't know if the Mally formula is like the one in this palette. If it is, it definitely makes me not want to try anything else from her brand. There's also a face palette that I decluttered. This one is definitely coming out. These are all of my BH Cosmetics palettes. These two are from the Sweet Shop. This one is the Orange Sorbet. Definitely keeping this one. The formulas in these palettes are amazing. Gorgeous orange color story. The metallics blend like butter. The mattes are pigmented and glorious. This is the Cherry on Top palette. This one is the Red Tone palette. This one is absolutely glorious as well. I love this beautiful rich deep burgundy cherry shade. The shimmers in here, absolutely amazing palette. This one is the La Vie Dune Prince. This one is a neon colorful palette. Every single shade in this palette is beautiful. All these shimmers on the top are absolutely stunning. This one I'm going to be pulling out. This one is called It's My Ray Ray. This one came from TJ Maxx. I bought this one for a video. The shades in here are pretty, but I never use it. I never pull this out. I have tones like this and other palettes that I actually do use, so I'm going to pull this one out. This one is the newest BH Cosmetics palette to my collection. This one is the Naughty palette. I love the fact that the cover looks like an ugly sweater. There was a nice palette, which was kind of a little mini one. That one did not speak to me, but this one, oh my god, this one is amazing. I love the color story. I love the formulas in this palette. This green shade right here, which is called Mistletoe. Oh my god, it is a beautiful, gorgeous shimmery green. Do you see that? Oh my god. And this one right here, Candied Fruit. This one feels like absolute silk. Gorgeous, gorgeous shimmers. Lately, I have found myself not really into the bigger palettes because they can be really confusing. The color story can be overwhelming, but with this one, I can easily see so many multiple looks that I can put together with this one. I absolutely love this one. These two are from the Ulta Beauty collections. This one is Black Widow. I absolutely love Black Widow. I love Marvel, and this palette is actually pretty good. This was my first experience with an Ulta formula, and it is really, really pretty. I love the gunmetal shade down here, which is called Infiltrate. This whole palette is beautiful, and I think they actually did a pretty good job, collaborating this palette with Black Widow herself. I really like it. This one is part of that first Harry Potter Ulta collaboration. This one is House Gryffindor. I love the packaging. I love the color story. I love Harry Potter. I am not happy with J.K. Rowling and the things that she has been saying and doing, but I do love this palette. I think it's beautiful. I think the color story is glorious. I'm going to keep it. These two are from Five Below. This one's actually a face palette. The only reason why I included it in this collection is because these two are actually a gift from my daughter. She got these for me a couple of Christmases ago. I remember when she gave me the packages, her face was like all lit up. She was so excited for me to open them. Now, y'all know I do not use contour or bronzer, and if I did, this palette is. The formulas in here are pretty bad. They're chalky, they're powdery, they don't blend worth a darn. The Exposed palette, same thing. Chalky, powdery, do not blend worth a darn. But guess what? I am keeping these. These were a gift for my daughter. As long as I am into makeup, these will forever be in my collection. This one is the Smoky Glow Midas Collaboration palette. I love the packaging. The color story and the formulas in this palette are really, really nice. The mattes blend well. They're pigmented. They're really beautiful. This shade right here called Leno, which is in the top corner. This one reminds me a lot of the Luna shade in the Sailor Moon palette. It is absolutely beautiful. Just this really pretty purpley pinky shifty shade. This one is the Tati Beauty Volume 1 Textured Neutrals. This palette is heavy. There is some serious weight on this one. I love this huge full-size mirror. This is what the color story looks like. One thing that she did in this palette, which is unique, is that you have the same shade going all the way down in each column, but it's a different texture. My favorite row in this palette, which you will be very surprised to hear, is actually the pressed glitters, which is the one going across the top. Normally, I do not like pressed glitters, but the ones in her palette, they are so nice. The adhesive that's being used to bind the glitters in, when you put these glitters to your eyes, they do not move. Well, first of all, before we go any further, pressed glitters are not considered to be eye safe. I just want to put that disclaimer out there, even though I do put these ones on my eyes. So wherever you put these, they stick. The glitter does not fall all over your face, and it lasts all day. definitely hang on to this. And I do hope that she eventually does more volumes because I do like her formula. These two are from LA Colors. I recently used this one. This one was in my Ooh Y'all Miss Day 1 video. Full face of LA Colors budget friendly makeup. I absolutely love this one. It's just really beautiful, warm, neutral color story. All the shadows in here are kind of like a shimmery satin, but they're absolutely beautiful. I loved working with it. This one is another one from LA Colors. Same formula as this one, except that this one is more of a colorful palette. I haven't had a chance to work with this one yet. I'm looking forward to playing with it. I'm going to keep it. This one is from Muse. I got this one from Shop Miss A. This is the Love X4 palette. This one was $1 and it is stunning. It's an all metallic palette. Every single one of the shades in here, I'm going to swatch them. They are so beautiful. I mean, you would not believe that I only paid $1 for this palette. Look at that. I mean, they are absolutely stunning. This one is the Crown palette. This one came out of a BoxyCharm box. I absolutely love this color story. Beautiful peachy tone neutrals in here. A really pretty pop of mauve purple here. You have some browns. This color story and the formula is absolutely beautiful. This one was one of the first palettes I ever got out of a BoxyCharm box. These two palettes are from Pure. This one is the Pure X Raw Beauty Christie palette. This one is absolutely beautiful. This one is a double-sided palette. You have a neutral side and then you have a colorful side. The side that I have used the most and worked with the most is the neutral. It's just these really beautiful grungy shades. I love these grungy mustard tones in here. The colorful side I haven't really just played a lot with yet, but this side is absolutely beautiful. I wish there were more shimmers in it, but it's gorgeous. This one I'm going to be decluttering. This one is the Festival palette. This one came out of a BoxyCharm. This one smells like sugar cookies. Oh my god, it smells so good. The color story is beautiful, but I don't really like the formulas that much. I don't really like the formulas and the shimmers. Like this one is kind of gritty. And I just have not used this since I got it in that one box, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This one is the Kimchi Chic X Naomi Smalls 2 Queens in a Desert. This one is vegan. I absolutely love Kimchi Chic. She is a Korean drag queen. I don't know much about Naomi, but I absolutely loved the color story and concept in this palette. You have a picture of Naomi and Kimchi right there. I think the color story is really beautiful. There's some gorgeous like margarita lime greens over here. You have some beautiful neutrals, some of your pops of blues or gorgeous shimmers in this palette. I've really enjoyed this one. Last 7 palettes in my collection. This one is from Kiko Milano. This is part of the Wonder Woman collaboration. I just got this one. I'm going to be using this one in a full face from the Wonder Woman collection. I really like the color story and this packaging is just so super cute. I'm enjoying using that one on camera. This is from Wayne Goss. This is the Luxury Eye palette. I absolutely love this one. This is the second palette that Wayne has launched. I don't have the first one. I do hope to go back and get it. This is a gorgeous, beautiful, cool toned gray color story. This shade right here, it's so creamy and buttery. They said it's a topper shade, but as you can see, it has a lot of pigment to it. That's what it looks like right there. I did a dedicated video using this palette and it is stunning. Normally I'm not into quote-unquote luxury brands, but I absolutely love this formula and I love Wayne Goss, so I decided to give it a try and I'm glad I did. I think it is beautiful. This one is from Zoeva. This is the Spice of Life palette. I picked this up from Ulta during the 20 Days of Beauty. They had a day where it was all brands that were owned by women. This was one of like 3 different products I went ahead and picked up. I love this color story. It is so beautiful. Beautiful pinks, beautiful neutrals in here. This shade right here, I thought it was a sage green. Even on camera, it kind of looks like a sage green. That shade is called Flavor. But when you actually put it on, it's more of a grayish brown kind of a shade. The shade is still beautiful. It's just not what I thought it was. But overall, the palette is gorgeous and I will be keeping it. These two are my Violet Voss palettes. This one is the Sakura Blossom, the Cherry Blossom palette. When I saw this one on Trim Mood, I had to get it. I love Korean and Japanese themed makeup. I love this mirror with the Sakura cherry blossoms on it, and this color story is absolutely stunning. Even though it is a pink toned color story, there is a lot of depth to this palette. These 2 shades right here you can use to deepen your look. The mattes are highly pigmented. They blend so well. The shimmers and metallics are very smooth. They're very shiny. They're very buttery. I absolutely love this one. This one, however, I'm going to be decluttering. This one came out of a BoxyCharm. It is the Essentials 2. The formula, this one is not the same as the formula in the Sakura palette. This one is patchy and chalky. The shimmers are very dry. They rainy. They don't blend well. They're not very wet and smooth. I do not like this one. This one is definitely coming out. Last palettes in my collection. These are from Nomad Cosmetics, and I'm hanging on to both of these. This one is the Cartagena Magica palette. I believe that's how I said it. I love the beautiful tropical look there. And this color story. These beautiful orange tones. This beautiful red shade here. Nomad Cosmetics has the most unique shimmer and metallic formula. They're so smooth and creamy. They're just so beautiful. I absolutely love them. They're like very, very unique to my collection. I don't have any other shimmers in my collection that feel like these. They just blend so well. They're just so creamy, so shiny, so wet. Just so beautiful. This one is the Tokyo Harajuku palette. This one is from Japan. One thing about Nomad is all their palettes are themed to a different country that the owners have visited. I absolutely love this one. It's so cute. It's a little cat face in the palette. All these shades. The mattes blend like butter. The shimmers are very, very creamy. I mean, they just, oh, they're so stunning. I mean, absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this palette. So that's all the big and full-size palettes done. I do have these little small ones here that I'm going to go through real quick, as well as a few singles. Most of these I'm going to be decluttering. I didn't see the point in doing these in a separate video since they were so few. These are from LA Colors. All four of these are going to come out. These two are the LA Colors Beauty and Bloom eyeshadow palettes. This one is a blue theme. This one is a pinky bronze theme. I have no use for any of these, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. This one came out of my very first No Make No Life Korean and Japanese beauty box. It is a pretty palette. I do like it, but I have other palettes that I just enjoy more with color stories like this. I'm never going to use this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out. These three came from Shop Miss A. These two I'm going to declutter. It's a really pretty shimmery kind of metallic color story, but I don't ever pull it, and I have shades like these in other palettes. Same thing with this one. This one is an all metallic palette. I never pull this one out. I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. This one, however, I'm going to keep. This one is a black smoky palette. I'm going to keep this one because this is good for, like, you know, if I'm traveling somewhere and I know that I just want to put together a quick smoky look, I can just throw this in my bag. This one is from e.l.f. This is one of the bite-sized palettes. This one is very bad. I'm going to keep this one. The formula in this one is just really, really pretty, and I love the fact that it's very compact. All these are my single shadows. You can see I don't have many. Let's go ahead and go through these real quick. All of these right here are from In Studio. I'm really sad because I don't think In Studio exists anymore. They were a brand that I saw in Walmart, and everything was between 98 cents and $1.97. All of these were 98 cents. I'm going to be keeping this one. This shade is Succulent. It's a very beautiful green. Eventually, I want to depot these and put them in a magnetic eyeshadow palette. I just haven't had a chance to yet. This one I'm going to pull. This one is just a plain taupey shade. I have no reason for a single taupey shade. This one I'm going to keep. This one is Heavy Metal. This one is a glorious silver metallic. It is so beautiful. Definitely going to be hanging on to that one. I mean, that is just stunning. This one is Jet Set. This one I am going to declutter. I have shades similar to this one in my big palettes. There's no reason for me to hang on to that one. This one is called Rebel. Yeah, I have shades just like that in my bigger ones. I'm going to go ahead and declutter those three. This one is from Colourpop. It is a single eyeshadow. It's called Cup. This one came as like a free gift in one of my packages months ago. I have never used this one. I'm never going to use this one, so we're going to pull this one out. I have two more single eyeshadows. This one is from Misha A. This one came in a No Make No Life box. I'm going to declutter this one. It's pretty, but it's really gritty and grainy. I know that I'm never going to ever use that one, so that one's going to come out. This one, though, this one is from Colourpop. This is a Super Shock. This is called In Harmony. This is a gorgeous, bouncy gold. Like, look at that. I mean, it is like pure liquid gold. It is absolutely stunning. I will definitely be hanging on to that one. And that, guys, is the end of this declutter. This is my last one in the series of 2020. Let's go ahead and do a quick count so I can see which palettes I decided to keep and how many I decided to declutter. So we started out with 85. We are hanging on to 69. And including these little palettes right here, I am decluttering 22. I didn't clutter as much as I thought that I would, but I think I actually did pretty decently. If you guys like these types of videos, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you'd subscribe and join my little family. And if you want to be notified of any videos that may be coming up in the future, just be sure to tap the notification bell down below. You'll be notified each and every time. Also, hop on over to Instagram and Twitter and follow me over there. I would love to have you guys. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.